Kevin?
Yes.
Blockbuster trade for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, Quinnen?
The Jets are trading three-time Pro Bowler Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys, according to Tom Pelissero. New York gets a 26 first-round pick and more for Williams, who gets a fresh start at age 27. So next year's first-round pick.
Ours?
Yes.
Or the Packers?
It does not say.
Okay.
This is Tom Pelissero, by the way. I'm not Tom Pelissero.
Yeah.
This is him on Twitter. As we said, but wait, there's more. But yes.
I told you 5 minutes ago that was going to happen. Boom.
Nick
Harris
you.
is partying.
Yes, he is. I'm a big fan of Quinnen Williams. He did eat Oreos before he ran his 40, and he said that's what gave him a better 40 time. I don't know if y'all remember that story or not, but it was brilliant. They said, what'd you have to eat? And he was like, Oreos. Cowboys loading up on the defensive side of the ball because they don't have the talent on that side of the ball. All right, level of concern has changed, obviously, because now this discussion is significant. Cowboys have now added 2 defensive players in trades. Jerry Jones said he was working on trades because they know they didn't do the job in the offseason to give this team the best. Now, Kevin, also, I don't know that they knew they were trading Micah until very late in the game. And so I think that they didn't make moves on the defense because they thought they were going to have Micah. And now they see what this team looks like without a significant star defensive player, and they're like, this is miserable. And so they're saying, we got to make up for it because we screwed up.
Rappaport is saying expect it to be the Cowboys first rather than the Packers.
Which would put that at 14. But still get the Cowboys a first-round pick in the draft if they choose to keep it. They could make one more trade and move that one also. But Jerry did say also when they traded Micah that these picks allow them to add up to 5 players. And he has now, I know the Logan Wilson addition is not one of those picks, but he said he was going to use the picks somehow. And this is one of the ways. Quinnen Williams is a very good player at 27 years old.
Yeah, this is...
And I think you said the contract only has about $15 million left of dead money.
And I'm working on that, but I think he's under contract for 2 more years, but it's the guaranteed money that you need to worry about. It's the guaranteed money because that's what you're going to be stuck with. Because people will talk about, Logan or going back to Kenny Clark. Well, there's no guaranteed money after this. So you can rework that contract however you see fit. And this would potentially give you the opportunity to rework the Quinnen deal if you want. All right, let me ask you this then. We're taking a look back at it. And I realize it's not exactly how it's working. But if I told you that the Cowboys traded Micah Parsons for a first-round pick in 2027, Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams, does that feel any better? And I realize we don't know all the details for that just yet because it looks like there's going to be more added to it.
And you still have money. You still have some money.
Yes.
Like Micah was $47 million?
Yes, you do. Correct.
How much money do you have left over?
I mean, you're going to save 47 right there. And even the worst case scenario for a cap hit on Quinnen Williams in the next 2 years is a total of $57 million.
Okay.
And like I said, you can get out of that second cap
And as
hit.
you said, they're not done giving away picks, but also they're not done. I don't think they're done adding. I think there's room for one more potential trade to be done. Now, Jerry this morning was very adamant that he didn't want to talk too much about it because I feel like he's felt like he's gotten screwed over a couple times, leaking some stuff, getting leaked out there. But he was like, I don't want anybody to know because I don't want, A, that price tag to go up for us, and B, somebody to steal it out from under us.
Yeah, I want to see what the more is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
if it's a 7th,
yeah,
you're good. If it's a 3rd, you're like, hold on.
Yeah.
But I mean, relatively cheap price tag at the moment.
Yeah, and so man, the Jets have just taken over this entire day. But if you missed it, it looks like the Cowboys first round pick in 2026. So you'll retain the Packers 2026 first round pick for Quinnen Williams, and we'll see what else is included in that deal. And like I said, I'm looking at it, and it does not look like you're going to inherit a huge amount of money on that deal.
From the 214, my favorite is when Quinnen Williams sneezed and then said, "Bless you and thank you."
That is delightful.
Bless you. Now here is okay, so Kenny Clark, most likely, I would presume, gone after this season based on the numbers you just threw out there.
For the record, you can do that with no hit whatsoever.
Yeah.
Or, dare I say, you start building up some crazy depth on the defensive line? Oh, what a wild thought.
That is a fantastic thought. And I'm just kind of curious now, and obviously we got Broadus coming up here and Zach Wolchuk coming up here at 1:40. We'll have them for crosstalk, but I'm kind of curious now how that rotation on the defensive line looks. With Osa and him and Solomon Thomas, and I'm just kind of curious about that rotation. It looks deep and strong there.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is a signal on Mazi for sure. I know the line of they're open for trade.
Okay, if that's the more, then I'm in. If it's a first round pick and Mazi,
I feel like this would be the end of the line for Mazi though. Jerry said this morning with Sean and RJ and Bobby that long show. He said this morning that, hey, I'm gonna recall the great Tom Landry and don't wait and don't give up on him in 3 years. I think that they are more than willing to, though.
And just 6 days ago, supposedly Quinnen Williams trade calls not being taken, and so that is actually proven to be inaccurate. So, man, that is a enormous move.
I wonder how much the Jets, like looking at their team, I mean, they just made the move for Sauce. Now they're making a move here. I wonder how much of that had an impact on this.
Yeah, no, look, and I'm still kind of processing it because I'm still trying to break down the cap implications of how much money the Jets are trying to eat.
I just think on the field, you're strong.
No, you're right. So here's my disconnect with that, and I hope this makes sense.
It doesn't.
Quinnen Williams is a really good player who instantly becomes your best defensive player, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you made a trade for a player who instantly becomes your best defensive player on one of the worst defenses in the NFL, and you weren't going anywhere defensively with Micah. So how much is this really going to change in terms of moving you up in the defensive rankings? And that's where I struggle, especially since your offense struggled the last 2 games. Then how good is this team to give up a huge piece going forward? But on the flip side, if the Jets ate some of that money and you gave up a first rounder and you can keep him here for the next 2 years at a reasonable price, then let's go.
Kevin, Jay Glazer has a different tweet out right now. He said teams are still finalizing compensation, but as of now, Cowboys are trading a second-round pick this year and a first next year for Quinnen Williams. That's what Jay Glazer is reporting. So I don't know how that stands, but we know he's pretty connected. So we'll see where that goes.
All right, so a second round this year, and then a first in 2027. All right, so let's go off the same logic. Then you'll still have a first round pick in 2027, but you won't have a second this year or a third, I believe. But you do have 2 firsts, because then they give up the third upcoming for George Pickens.
Yep.
So you will still
which is crazy because you think about the Eagles. I was looking this morning. The Eagles make a trade, right?
Yeah.
They trade a third for Jalen Phillips, but they still have thirds.
Yeah.
Like that's what Howie Roseman does very well. Is he makes sure that they still always have a slew of picks in the fold.
I mean, look, if you tell me, I know I keep doing you tell me. If you tell me you're going to use the cap savings on moving off from Micah to fund part of the Quinnen Williams deal and bring back George Pickens, and you still have 2 first-round picks next year, then maybe I can figure that out. But it sounds like not a first and second this year, a second this year, and potentially a first in 2027.
And that's what Schultz is now reporting as well. It's a future first-rounder for the Jets and a 2026 second.
And I still wonder if they're looking to I don't think this means the end of Kenny Clark. Like I really don't. And so now you're kind of building up some depth there in the interior of the defensive line as well. Man, there are a lot of interesting things, but there you go. That is a big ass freaking move right there.
From the 817, the most shocking part of this segment is learning that Cory is not actually Tom Pelissero.
What?
I was shocked too, quite honestly. So, listen, man, it's an exciting time, if nothing else, right now.
Very much
the Cowboys, and I know Broadus came in here a couple weeks ago and was like, "Look, sounds like Jerry needs to make some action happen because this isn't good. Like this isn't a good team right now, and he needs to." Jerry loves the attention. This trade deadline's a great opportunity after a bad loss on Monday Night Football last night. Making the move because what happened last night is unacceptable yet again.
Yeah.
And so he said, we're making moves right now to make this team better. They're going to have an entire bye week heading into a Monday night game against the Raiders. And we got 2 weeks now before the Cowboys step foot on the field and get after it. And so they'll have this opportunity to put this team together. We have familiarity with the defensive line coach for the Cowboys with Quinnen Williams. Now we see what we know about most of these defensive players. Logan Wilson coming in here will probably compete not only for Kenneth Murray's job, but probably take it over.
Yeah.
Overshown coming back at some point, and then whatever else they might be able to add before the next hour and a half happens. So, this is one of those things where the Cowboys have said they want to get better. They're trying to, at least.
So from the 737, so we lost a top 10 pick for him. It doesn't seem that way. It's seeming like, because, everyone's got to be first. It's seeming like I've seen more people pick up on what Glazer said of a second-round pick this year and then your first in 2027. And I still don't know. I would assume then that would be the Cowboys in 2027, or maybe they'll just hold the right to take whichever one is the better pick. So not necessarily not a top 10 pick in the draft coming up yet. And I just saw somebody, sorry, we're getting a lot of texts that say this is so bad. I don't know that's the case until you see all of the information. It is true. I wanted the Cowboys to load up on their draft prospects and send people out instead. But with both of the moves you've made today, you have picked up players that would be here for multiple years, or you have the potential to decide if they'll be here for multiple years. So Quinnen Williams is a player it seems like they've coveted for some time.
And Jordan Schultz, who tweeted right before our last break, "Wait, there's more," has now tweeted out a Seinfeld gif. It's not over.
Okay.
So, guys, I say hold on to your seats.
Okay. All right.
Quinnen Williams is one of the best defensive tackles in the league. Cowboys have him for virtually probably maybe top 10 pick next year. I don't know exactly where that pick's going to land.
Not next year though. It's not their first next year.
Yeah, so it's like this could be a very good trade.
Yeah, I'm seeing
it's going to be a very.
I'm seeing more and more. Second round pick next year, first round pick in 2027. You got more?
The Jets are also acquiring Mazi Smith in the trade, per Rappaport.
All right. If that's the other,
did you see Kevin Dawson?
Yeah. If that's the other, then I can deal with that. Okay. So what it may end up being then, the Cowboys acquire Quinnen Williams, who is under contract through 2027. I'm working on the specifics of how much of that money you're inheriting. And then the trade would be Cowboys send a second-round pick in 2026, a first-round pick in 2027, and Mazi Smith, which, look, I think we're all on the same page. Who cares about Mazi? So a second-round pick and a first-round pick is what you're giving up. Second round this upcoming year, first-round pick in 2027. For Quinnen Williams, who will be under contract through 2027.